Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster, TheSkyJoker. Sky, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here. Honestly, I can't wait to see how this match goes. These two rookie teams are both quite amazing, joining us last season, and I just can't wait to see what comes out of this.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a interesting sort of matchup because we got Prestige versus Devil Brigade, two fresh teams into the VRML. I think they've only had maybe 1 or 2 games under their belt in this season. I think Prestige is brand new to this season 11. I mean, when you're looking at these squads, what do you think we're going to be seeing in terms of the back and forth that we would normally expect? I mean, I really don't know what. I think we're going to see some pretty good competitive action today.
Oh, for sure. I have some history with both of these teams, both of them great people, and Prestige, very coordinated, Devil's Brigade, just an outstanding group of people. So I can't wait to see what comes out of this, honestly.
Yep, me neither. We are hopping into the gameplay right away, too. We haven't even had time to get into our pick bans. We'll have to come back to that in a little bit, but I mean... First map of the day, Bazaar. We're kicking it off with a standard objective, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing we haven't seen before. And are we going to see quick pace? Are they going to play it reserved? Is there going to be a split already? We're seeing a 4-1 split if you look at the overhead.
Yeah, so what I know from Prestige is they like to send a very aggressive unit with a singular one out that kind of plays more of a guerrilla warfare and they eventually regroups. And as we did see, we saw a pick from Lunch Lady pretty early on.
Yeah, an aggressive swing there across the street, trying to get into an advantageous position. Devil's Brigade losing one and losing control of the south side. Fortunate for them, the majority of this Prestige offense is shifting up to the north, and we're going to have to keep an eye on this wide rotation from Ninja Monkey.
I'm also keeping an eye on Good Job Brian here, like I said, playing the slightly guerrilla warfare he's just waiting for a flanker.
Ninja Monkey's going in on the backside of this offense. He could find a sleeping Marsok's team here. Lines them up. One goes down, looking for the double. Can't get it. Regret swings, and he doesn't get the confirm, so Keller going to be able to get rezzed. Incredibly fortunate for this Prestige team that they find that second kill.
Yeah, reflexes played a huge role into that. He could have easily picked up 3 if it wasn't for that quick turnaround.
Syringe. Oh, you forgot you lost one as well, never mind.
I regret.
Util. You have any room for util? Hey, yo, you have LNG,
Lots of
right?
communication coming out. Something you really want to see out of these teams.
Yep.
No, util on his body. Go grab the flash. 41. Come on,
Good communication. Yeah, like you said, and it's something you need at the high level, but this isn't the high level. These are, I mean, Prestige, a brand new team to the league, and you love to see it. I do know one thing that's interesting, a kind of fun fact, is that they have definitely been watching their fair share of VRML action this season. A lot of the Prestige players have a long history of connoisseur votes so far in this season, so they've been paying attention and doing their homeworks, at least from what I can tell, and we'll see if it pays off. So far, it certainly is. They're into a 5v3 advantage.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see how Vadi deals with this encirclement that he's about to be in the middle of.
That defensive position is a patient one. You really want to stay tucked in and allow this Prestige offense to push well past Vadi. He doesn't want to expose himself early, but Dr. Dangle is aware of the danger of that lurking defensive position, and maybe he spotted his knee peeking out from that crack there. Because that was a great
I'm wondering
read.
how he knew.
Yeah. I mean, again, they've been doing their homework, so maybe they've just been watching, seeing us as a popular defensive position and checked it. But either way, it's a 5v2 now, and you got to be thinking about a cap right now. An experienced team knows their KD, knows how many players are left alive, and if you have 5 and you have the utility and you're positioned on objective like Lunch Lady is, they can certainly consider an attack.
I'm paying real close attention to Good Job Brian out here by the red car. He's been so quiet and hidden the whole game. I'm wondering when he's going to choose to make his aggression.
Yeah, he may have an angle on to Stony there if he wants it. Dr. Dangle and Regret. Well, where do they come from? A rotation.
They made a full rotation
They must
to
have
join Brian.
Yeah, and as the smoke comes in, Stony does peek up, and Brian peeks at the worst time as he goes down. Stony and Keels holding this backside push as Lunch Lady comes in from the front. Lunch Lady's made it inside objective room and is looking for kills on the backside as one goes down. She's tucked in, and Stony doesn't know this. He swings around, checks the corner. No, doesn't check the corner. Lunch Lady punching in the code. Suppressive fire comes in, the kill. Locked in for Prestige before the code could be entered. Still a 1-0 lead, but could have been 2.
Wow, what a round that was.
An excellent kickoff to the series. I put 2. I put 2 on the scoreboard. It was just 1. A good setup, and we do get a chance now to kind of look at the pick bans that have come in. Sand and Subway. Prestige banning Sand, Devil's Brigade banning Subway. So, you know, if you consider the map pool and what it is, we've gotten rid of 1 of 2 custom maps. USS Quest also is on the plate there. And curious to see what sort of other action we see played out, because so far this Prestige team looking pretty clean. I mean, to go up against Devil's Brigade is no challenge. I mean, we didn't get a lot of time to talk about it, but Devil's Brigade, they're formerly known as West Coast Riders. They have experience. They were looking good in Season 10 when they came out of the gate as a new team, and so not to put any pressure on this Devil's Brigade squad, because they have been obviously rebranded, but I sort of do expect good things from this team.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you know, seeing Prestige so commandingly with those rotations, with the aggression, with the picks. I mean, like going off of what you said earlier, they've definitely been paying attention to how the higher tier players have been playing. They are taking notes.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, I've been talking about it for a while, not to toot the own horn, but these, you know, watching these matches, you can learn a lot. You know, we try and hone in on the important elements of the rounds, and obviously you can watch how players play, how they maneuver, what kind of smokes they're throwing, and get an idea, and then you go into your scrims and sort of mimic those plays. It's how you get to be the best, and well, Prestige certainly looking good, at least in round 1. You can never really tell until you've gotten at least 2 or 3 rounds under the belt, but we do see C4 getting thrown there by Keller and everyone else tucking in. Ninja Monkey goes down to an early pick from Lunch Lady.
Ninja Monkey coming out as the hard aggressor from Devil's Brigade, it's looking like.
Yeah, he was swinging pretty wide on that mid street. Not a lot of cover for him there, and does get tapped up. The rest of the offense, like you said, a little bit farther back behind him in the mid courtyard. They do have that one also in the south, so a similar bit of an approach that Prestige implemented, but obviously a bit of a different defensive setup. No one too far forward, and a little bit of a C4 planted there, so see what happens. It's going to be a little bit for Devil's Brigade to push in, because this is a nice kill box defense.
I'm really liking how they have set up. While it is what one might say meta, it is effective. It's powerful. It's hard to deal with.
The thing is if Devils have done their homework as well, they should know a few good nade positions, a few good smoke positions to sort of deny and shut down a sort of standard setup like this. But we'll see, because sometimes, you know, like you said, meta does work the best. And so good job, Brian, waiting here in the north. Doesn't see Nomad cross, it seems. Nomad lasered in here. Good job. Just tucked in. He's waiting for the... Actually, oh, he's looking through the hole in the wall. He's not checking down this north street. And as Nomad drops off the angle, he peeks out, finds one. Looks for the snapshot on the kills and scoops that up.
Scratch 2 on the north.
That's a key pickup on the defense side. Now Stony and Vadi, the last 2 up on Marsoc. Gonna have their work cut out for him as Stony makes a cross. Oh, he's getting really close to Lunch Lady here.
Yeah, he spots Lunch through the crack, though. Gets the confirm, continues the push up. Here's shots there. Doesn't spot. No, does spot the pro, and those shots come through the wood. Don't tag him there on the ground. He's trying to find those shots. Down goes Regret, and he continues his push on the backside. A good double. He's trying to drop off, but too much ground to cover as Dr. Dangle finds the refrag. Now it's all up to Irvadi in a 1v3. Not unmanageable for sure.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see Vadi up a little bit further when that attack from Stony came in. If they had come in at the same time, all that noise that Stony was making could have played to Vadi's advantage.
Tries to push out. A good angle held from Keller. Tucked deep into that green room, and 2-0 for Prestige, a well-deserved couple of rounds. Do have a bit of a disconnect, so maybe a bit of a moment here to discuss how these teams are playing, Sky, but so far it's typical Onward, right? As soon as you go off an angle, that Nomad push up in the north, as soon as you drop holding an angle, the enemy peeks it, and a really nice double kill getting picked up there. Unfortunate that the replay wasn't working, but I did capture it, so maybe you could check it out in the highlight reels that we'll be throwing up on the Onward YouTube channel. Got all kinds of replay. I mean, a huge... it's crazy. With all the casts that have been going on so far, Sky, there's tons of replays that are going to be... we can make...
Oh, I'm so excited.
I mean, I wonder how long if we just piled all the replays of the last week together, how long that VOD would be. I think it might be pushing an hour.
Oh, easily. I think someone said somewhere there was like 90 or some crazy number like that already. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah, really cool to see the whole VRML squad firing on all cylinders at the start of this season. I'm really excited about the content that's going to be coming out of that creators team. Something to look forward to if you are involved in the VRML and you enjoy watching games and catching up on Onward action. Maybe you miss a couple of games. Those get re-uploaded to the YouTube as well. It's a good spot to just sort of be subscribed to, because we're going to try and be to amplify the content there. And the nice thing is that that'll trickle down here. So in moments like this, we'll have some content to kind of switch to that'll entertain in these intermissions where hopefully things do get sorted quickly. Still waiting on that reconnect for Prestige, maybe into a tech timeout. But so far, your thoughts on the match, Sky?
I mean, so far, both teams playing really well. Prestige just on the coordination, on the communication. They're on top of those angles and those rotations. I mean, they was just unmatched. The defense of Devil's Brigade not ready for it, and then coming into round 2, Prestige just holding those angles strong. I did really like how Stony snuck up from the south over there. He did a really good job in his timing. He just didn't have the sync with his teammates, but he made good noise and played that rotation very well. He got close.
Yeah, he did. And honestly, to get if you just kind of have to, at that point, once you've committed into that push up through the wood like that, you kind of have to stand the ground. And he may have had a few more kills under his belt if he had just tried to challenge on the objective. Either way, like you said, a good swing on the south there. Maybe if he had the teammate timed up, helping him come in from that north side or any direction, really, just to sort of get the pinch and the pressure, it would have amplified that push. But either way, a solid first couple of rounds. We do seem to be on I would say probably a full timeout. So this could last up to 10 more minutes. We're going to cut to a brief intermission, and then we'll be right back to continue out the start of this series. So far, 2-0 Prestige on map 1, Bazaar. Don't go anywhere. We are back. Seems that technical difficulties have been resolved in an interesting result. We are going to be playing out, it seems to be, this series in a 4v4. Prestige not able to get their fourth reconnected, albeit the spectate may say it's the other way around. Nomad goes down to dangle out the gate in the mid. But it is, well, now I guess a 4v3.
Kills 42 in a very interesting little ambush position in a shack. We'll see how that comes into play, because I know, as you saw in the previous attack round, Prestige really likes their rotations. So even though they're attacking at this angle, they could very well go to a completely different location on the map for their final assault.
They have good coverage. Stoney's watching that far north side, so Kill's not going to get surprised or flanked. And it's, well, they're in the right spots because there's no south rotation coming in here. It's all four focused in up here on this north. They're going to be eventually pushing in from that northeast corner, and we'll see. Ninja Monkey may actually, it could be bad news. Prestige could win the map here if they get this cap. So if Stoney and Kills go down, it's kind of a bit of a big rotation for Ninja to get there in time to defend.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ninja Monkey really being a wild card here. I honestly fully expect Good Job and Dr. Dangle to fall back to Jay Keller's position and back him up in a eastwardly attack. I believe Keller's actually on a drone.
Interesting. Yeah, and Keller's been playing this one pretty patiently. He's had he's been at that wall since essentially the start of this series. He's been in position, and they've been waiting for Good Job and Dr. Dangle to find any sort of pick or action as they made their way up onto that middle street. Now they've rotated over here to Keller. Hopefully no team kills come in, and they can continue their advance. I actually don't know what their plan is. Maybe they are going to go for a drop around and come in from the south. Maybe we were ridiculing the likes of Ninja Monkey too early.
Ninja Monkey. Maybe he could become effective here if they choose for that far rotation. Prestige is all about leave one guy behind for a flank, send up majority of the team up, get some early picks, and then immediately rotate off and come in from a different angle. They are very good at that.
Exactly the plan that is being executed here, and you can see they are trying to clear out that space where they thought there was one. Kills 42 is checking in over on those where the shots were fired, and he's not going to find much because they're all rotated now into the south. There's one, it is going to be Keller still held up over in that northwest corner, and could be effective when it comes down to pinch time, but I wonder what the angle they're going to take in the south is going to be, because otherwise they are essentially just doing a really big circle for no reason, right? They could have just crossed the street to get here.
For sure. And if you actually notice, Kills is a little bit more exposed now because Stoney has dropped. He is no longer in Blue Room. And I think they've identified that, and that's why they're being a little bit more mobile on their defense.
Comes the push in. Ninja goes down to some quick shots. Dr. Dangle trying to approach in off of the smoke. Has to get closer up to that tank and needs the cover if he wants to make an entry. Kills, shuts down Good Job. Brian trying to come in. He's looking for Dr. Dangle as he comes out. Can't find the kill. Dangle lands his shots, and Prestige do not get the cap, but do take up that lead 3-0.
So one thing to note that I saw right at the end there, Kills was well aware that he was getting flanked by Keller in the back, and Keller was right there. Kills knew exactly where he was, but he did not take his eyes off the objective. He was not going to allow Keller to grab his full attention. for that cap.
Right. Yeah. A good job to split and not get tunnel vision. That's one of the I think things you see most commonly in a new team is players really end up tunneling hard on a certain approach or a certain angle, and it just leaves all kinds of opportunities to cap on, but not there. And a huge rotation, really. If he wasn't challenging there, it would have been all kinds of cap opportunities, because there was 2 or 3 on that objective tank.
Oh, for sure. He did the right thing there.
Yeah, good play, and ultimately they're still in it here. An opportunity still presents itself. They can get a cap and be right back in this series on map 1, and we'll see as the kill feed still a little bit bugged. We are again into the 4v4 and are here into round number 4 for this first map of the series. So far, Prestige looking really good, just consistent, finding the early picks seemingly every time, and curious to see if they can lock in this first map here with a 4-0.
We need to time this, guys. We can. Yeah. Gun up.
Devil's Brigade have definitely learned from their mistakes, and they're being a bit more careful to not push out too early into some quick lines.
Yeah, and that's what I like to see, is that they are trying to adjust here, even in this 3-0. They're recognizing that they can't just keep doing what they've been doing, and I think I heard there as they were rolling out that they need to sync up and time this approach appropriately. And so I imagine they're going to try and go for this 2-2 split, apply some pressure from that south angle once they get over onto the east side of the map and sort of pinch in. Question is, can it go well against this Prestige defense? They have some good angles.
Oh, for sure. And one issue I'm seeing here, the unfortunate handicap of it being a 4-man approach, they're so split up without having anybody in the middle to help that central angle.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just so separated from each other. If anything happens, they're isolated.
See what they can do. Gonna have to keep an eye on both sides of the map. Good job. Brian also has an angle here on these stairs that may prove to be useful, because he is looking for this cross in here from the south side from the likes of Kills. You don't see the laser extending over that rail, but it is just floating over the heads of Ninja Monkey and Kills there. They're fortunate that wall is there to give them some cover.
Donnie and Nomad doing a really good job at waiting for their southern squad to get in position. They do not want to have this attack out of sync. Dangle's just waiting for it.
Seems to be Kills has managed to get past the eye of Brian. Not sure where Brian's looking. He seems to be... Oh, Ninja Monkey's actually spotted him out in the trade. Down goes Ninja Monkey. He's resable by Kills. Brian is dead. And so off to a good start for Devil's Brigade. The south push drawing up a good amount of attention.
One interesting to note, they say, attack how you defend how you would attack. Stoney is actually hyper-focused on the spot that he was taking on their defensive round.
Nice angle from one Schlady.
Which is where Dangle was.
Yeah, snags that kill, and Stoney not working up with the rest of his team. Gonna have to keep an eye on this south push, because this is where their best chance of success is gonna be. And as long as Kills stays in sync with Ninja on this approach, maybe they can find a couple of Ks. There's one. Keller finds one. Dangle tries to swing out. Kills picks him up over the corner. Objective is exposed. Lunch Lady has to drop back. Ninja Munchie's trying to push up onto OBJ. The objective saves him as Kills swings. Ninja reinforces They take the round that they can get and do get one on the board in a nice push. That's exactly what they were talking about doing, pinching the objective at the right time.
Yeah, really beautiful play, because when that aggression came out in the south, that forced Dr. Dangle to get off of his angle watching the north cross, and allowed for Stoney to make a little bit more headroom on his approach.
Nicely coordinated, and ultimately gets them a point, nearly a cap opportunity. But again, when you talk about good defense, a good rotation coming in there from Lunch Lady to swing around and defend the objective. A lot of times with new players, you get tunnel vision and you don't check your pad, you're not aware of who's alive and dead, and you kind of let that exposed pocket in the defense go unpunished, so to speak. But haven't been seeing that here on either side today on the defense, so really impressive from these new squads, what they're bringing here, at least for my eyes.
Oh, for sure. And I'm honestly particularly excited about how Prestige deals with this objective. Just with it being in such close quarters, easy to surround, easy to encircle.
Right. Yeah, it definitely leans into.
They're gonna have a tough time.
It leans into the quick play strategy. Prestige have been playing a couple of these objectives pretty fast. They get the slow spawn though, so they aren't going to have that opportunity to be right on top of them. But maybe they will go for a 2-2 split, so they can send one down through the south. Dr. Dangle and Lady going to push in from the north.
Devils Brigade with a pretty standard 4-corner kill box within the courtyard. Most of them looking in.
Yeah, the only two that would get some potential picks, Kills and Ninja, are not holding angles where they're even going to be looking out windows, so not exposing themselves to any opportunities for early picks. And it's been what's been hurting them the most, is they lose one early from an early pick. So I like to see the adjustment from Devil's Brigade to stay tucked in and really force Prestige to push into them on top of this objective.
And I'm curious how Prestige deals with that adjustment, because they've been so reliant on those early picks. I wonder how much time they're going to spend trying to get the early pick.
This is a well-timed rotation so far. Well, we'll see. Good job. Brian actually seems to be a little bit ahead. He does tuck back up and hold his position, wait for the rest of his team to push up here, but they could surround this objective nicely and have these entry points. They've got this whole west, side of the map, the east side of the map open and available to them to control. There's all kinds of great angles they can take where they can position themselves up over the ledge and have some shots down into the inside of an objective courtyard. And we'll see if they take advantage of that. Brian's just carefully clearing this east pocket right now so that they can eventually take control of it. I'm sure they want to send Dr. Dangle and maybe even Keller over to that side.
And I know a couple of things that are, I would say, hurting Prestige. They really like their shields and they really like their drones, both of which they are currently unavailable to them. So very two things that they use quite effectively.
Whoa.
Oh.
What a crazy... Yeah, I mean, he was watching him the whole time. As soon as he came in, he got into the darkness. Dangle panics, shoots him, kills, nearly finds Dangle. That could have been Prestige. Oh, it is Prestige throwing away a good opportunity. Devil's Brigade lose 2, and we're into a 2v2. The kill feed at the top, inaccurate. Well, I say that as a kill comes in, a grenade from Lunch Lady, so it's a 1v2. Nomad, the lone defender.
And this is really the position you would want to be if you're Nomad. He doesn't have to rotate. He could stay there as a last man defender.
Holy dude.
And the trade comes out.
Nice lunch.
Yep, the final two left alive. The res comes in. Nomad peeked that north tunnel and trades kills, and Prestige take a pretty quick bazaar, 4-1. Obviously, I guess, you know, rounds speed up a little bit when you have one less kill to secure, but still a solid opening up here for Prestige. Out the gate, they're looking pretty good. It's for a brand new team. The communication and the defensive awareness is there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you could tell Prestige in that attack. They were really looking for that early pick, like I was mentioning. And I think that's part of what led to that TK in that dark corner. Is Dangle was just really expectant of there being somebody out in a weird spot. And he just, I don't know, quick reflexes.
Yep. We now do go to a much longer range map. The old, really, I guess, one of two that are available. We have Snow Peak coming at you for map number 2, and so maybe this is Devil's Brigade trying to get a little bit of range involved here in the situation. Maybe try and bring a sniper. We'll see what the kits are that they decide to go with, but out the gate, still gonna seem. It seems like we're holding on to that 4v4. It's not good. No one's gonna be subbed in here to make it a 5v4 or a 5v5. So with Snow Peak, it's gonna be interesting to see how that gets played.
Oh yeah, 100%. And on your point about it being 4v4, I believe that is because Ear of Body on Devil's Brigade was actually a reservist, and I think that's why he dropped with the 5th as dropped from Prestige.
Yeah, makes sense. Make it a match with just the active rostered players, and I think that's part of the rules, if I heard them discussing that correctly at the start of the round. Either way, we're not here to enforce it. We're just here to enjoy it, and so far, I am enjoying seeing Prestige compete. They go on the offensive in round 1 on Snow Peak, defense, and we'll see how they hold down the fort. So they're off to a good start, and they've got that momentum under their feet, and it seems like they're only sending one here to really go up against this offense. It is going to come down to Dr. Dangle.
Very quick pickup.
Yep. Right out the gate, and he's a bit wary of some other potential rotations, but if he had just held his position, he may have found a few more kills. The rest of that Devil's Brigade team also tucked in over there. Smokes come in, a flash doesn't quite go as Dangle was hoping. It may have caught Monkey if it had gone far enough, but it doesn't. And Devil's Brigade continue to push up here.
Good job, Brian, on a mad flank from the lake. If he does this right, this could be a wipe.
Yes, it could. He is nicely positioned to attack. Ninja swings out and finds Dangle, who tried to drop back onto rotation. At the same time, that mad flank could end up being they're helpful. Found one. Monkey's looking, kills is looking. Brian exposed in the middle of the forest. He goes down. Prestige left with 2 to defend against the approaching 3. Maybe it's going to be a 2v2 as Stoney goes down to Keller.
It's quite the investment sending somebody out that far. High risk, high reward. Almost a TK.
I think Keller has to heal himself, but he'll be fine. Kills is going to be pushing up here. Keller's tucked into just a nice little defilade. Peeks up and over, finds the kill. Monkey swinging around. Keller's here looking, but Monkey dialed in, finds the kill. Now Lunch Lady can get some shots off from his angle down towards Ninja Monkey. Monkey suppresses as he pushes up. Tons of time to work with.
These are two of the most aggressive players on both teams up against each other.
Monkey nearly throws his tablet there as he tries to put it back, and takes a bit of time to regather it. Time that Lunch Lady capitalizes on it, and it takes a big rotation. I wonder if Monkey's going to have gun up and be ready for this, because Lunch Lady's ready for Monkey here. Pushes out the trade. Prestige come out on top. Lunch Lady finds the kill first.
Really interesting decision on Lunch Lady's part to go for that straight push aggression to leave the objective.
And I mean, you want to talk about typical Onward. It's right as soon as they dip off of that angle that Lunch Lady swings out. As soon as he's struggling to get his tablet, Lunch Lady's on a rotation, and the perfect timing comes in that ultimately allows Prestige to get that first point on the board. And well, I think it's been a couple of unanswered points now, but either way, Prestige running with the momentum here.
This is going to be really interesting with it being a bigger map. How well is Prestige going to be able to do their usual pick, rotate, pick, rotate?
Yeah, curious to see how they approach it. It seems to be a full squad press so far, and I think they're going to end up taking these tunnels all the way into that south side and try and make an entry there from the south. And this makes sense because if you remember correctly, they invested several defenders up onto these south tunnels when they were on the attack, or excuse me, when they were defending. And like you were saying earlier, you defend against how you attack against how you defend, and it's what we're seeing here with Prestige.
And if you see the Devil's Brigade defense, they are so loose, so spread out. They were looking for early picks that just are not going to come out. Ninja monkeying kills, not in good positions for this right now.
At the same time, if they confirm early that they have none of these spawns coming through, they're not finding any rotations, they then have to be savvy enough to sort of shift their attention to other angles, and maybe they can rotate into the north in time.
They better get that out quick, because Stony and Nomad both have their backs exposed to this.
They're fortunate, though, in that Prestige is taking their time on this entry. They're going to take their time clearing out this garage, making sure nobody's inside defending, because there's all sorts of angles that they could be tucked into, and then maybe eventually approach. And yeah, Stoney's still not really even cautious of this approach here as he does rotate, and Prestige, they're going to have an open entry.
Okay, so call out just came out that they might come through the tunnels, so we'll see how this adjustment comes out. Kills and Ninja were really excited and ready to take a head-on attack if they had gotten the same spawn.
Yeah, I mean, you can see on the overhead, they're still on the other side of that rock, kind of poking around, looking for any action on the other side of the map, and it's just not there. Of course, you could be missing something, and the team could be playing slow, so there's other variables that they have to be aware of, but still not really any focus into those tunnels. There maybe is a flank coming through. It's a long one, though. Ooh, and a drone's coming out.
I mean, with only 3 minutes left on the map, you have to be wondering, is it worth investing this much time this far away?
Yeah, if the drone up there can identify Nomad and Stony, it's going to be good information. It may even be able to spot that rotation coming in. But yeah, they're really taking their time, and they are opening up the opportunity for a flank to come in from Devil's Brigade, which is a potential threat there. It's, of course, an incredible risk for Devil's Brigade to invest out 2 into a flank like that because you're dropping off of the objective, but would pay off as Prestige is all 4 here.
And kind of following this drone around, and it's very... Oh! As I say that, they managed to take it down, but it was very strategically clearing out every corner that they could be in.
Hmm.
Prestige being very good with that air drone for recon.
Yeah, and I mean, they may have hopefully at least gained some info there off of those gunshots to kind of gauge where this defensive setup is coming from, and where they killed that drone. It's not really much of an indicator in terms of where the offense could be, so still the pace here could bite them in the butt. A minute 45 kills, and Ninja, if anything, really have to pick up the pace. Lunch Lady finds Stony on a rotation out in the center. Nomad still holding nicely, the other 2 pushing in. I mean, this is really a 1v3 if they push up. Keller's holding their back too, so even this flank may not be successful.
Oh yeah, they always have somebody ready for a flanker. Prestige is very good at that.
Oh, Keller wasn't ready, though. Had the gun there, but as soon as kills came around, it seemed like he only had one hand on the rifle. The rest of his team follows up with the frag onto Monkey, and now Nomad's the lone defender. As good job, Brian swings around and maybe finds his exposed back here. Yes, he will. No, he won't. Nomad recognizes the rotation first, finds the first of 3 kills he needs to hold on to this defense.
What a reaction.
A great reaction, but ultimately not enough. Dangle has the angle, gets the kill, and Lunch Lady survives another day as Prestige push up their lead 2-0. And a solid approach, a well-timed approach. They took their time. I mean, really, a play that's coming in from a seemingly practiced team, but this is their first season in the VRML.
And that was almost a spitting replay of what we saw in Bazaar. Another time where a flank that could have been so powerful shut down by the quick reactions that Prestige are bringing in.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit of an earlier round W, but either way, they managed to find those kills. There was a nade that was coming out too, that was en route, so a lot of firepower heading his way. But either way, a solid hold from Devil's Brigade there, a decent reaction. You know, obviously seeing Nomad with that quick snapshot there, you love to see it. And I do think we have a tech hiccup here as we were going to dive into this next round. I think we lost one, so gonna give it a few moments before we cue us over to the gameplay. But so far, I mean, my thoughts on Prestige, they're looking, like I've been saying, for a new team coming out here strong in this second week of the season. Did they play? I wonder, did they play a match in the first week?
Which team?
Prestige.
Yes. Let me double check who they played. They played against 5 MOA.
Oh no. 5 MOA, okay. Upcoming matches they're going up against Resin Mafia. How do they do against 5 MOA? They won 5-13. Very nice. Well, this is certainly a test, I would say, because like we've been sort of talking about in the pre-show and whatnot, Devil's Brigade is a team that is formerly known as West Coast Riders, at least the core of it is. And so they're a team that was looking good as a new squad in Season 10, and I was expecting, well, I am still expecting good things from this team in Season 11, but so far, Prestige. Bringing the prestige to this series as we hop back into the action, round 3 in map 2.
You're stupid. You gotta fucking make me laugh. It's because if you stay
Really liking Prestige's defense here. They've got all the angles, all the entry points pretty well secured. And they can swing on each other's backs if anybody gets into trouble.
Yeah, it's a good setup. Shots coming in there to Lunch Lady, just nearly missing him. Kills almost off to a good start on the offense for Devil's Brigade, but Lunch able to tuck back in, and actually Lunch goes on a wide swing here. He's going to find two exposed. Kills, takes shots. He finds the double there. A nice pickup from Lunch Lady on that rotation. It was looking like maybe he wasn't going to find that both those kills, but he does, and maybe good job. Brian has a double opportunity himself. Finds one. Nomad goes down, and Stony can't fend off the defense from good job Brian. Prestige in a flash take this third round.
Interesting that Brian chose to take that fight head on, as he was or should have been aware that both of them were there because they had been talking to each other beforehand.
Interesting note. So yeah, great read from him then to push in after finding that first kill, and a solid defense there from Prestige. The rotation, the push up, overall a nice hold, and not a chance for Devil's Brigade to get too close to that objective. We'll see how Devil's Brigade defends, but either way, you know, when we were watching that team go on the offense, they seemed pretty loose, pretty still enjoying themselves. And you know, these early weeks of the VRML, sometimes you have matches that are a bit more skewed one way or another, but the best thing about it is that no matter how where your skill level lies, eventually, you know, in weeks 3 and 4 and 5, and then obviously the rest of the season, you're paired up against teams that are of similar skill level, and the formula that the VRML has for matchmaking really, in my opinion, shines in those later weeks. And so I'm looking forward, obviously, to tuning back in, you know, and really next week to some of these other new teams to see how those matchups are, because I'd love to see a good back and forth there. Obviously, we're still seeing a good one here, but Prestige are just a round away from locking in the series as we get back into the action.
Yeah, we just gotta hold a submissive angle.
This is definitely an objective that plays into Prestige's strong points, allowing these rotations through these doorways.
Yeah, shoot and move. Certainly something Prestige will put on display here. Lunch Lady already pushing up the team pretty close to being right on objective. Lunch Lady can see it from this angle. Can't spot Nomad, who's tucked in behind some crates, and so a good defensive setup as well coming in from Devil's Brigade.
And Prestige is probably going to sit here for most of the round, as they're going to wait for Dangle to make this huge rotation to the northeast.
Yeah, you look at the overhead. He is sending, he is on that long rotation, but there is another there that he may run into. It looks like it is Ninja Monkey, and so yeah, maybe Dangle could get picked up here if he's not careful.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Dr. Dangle is going to be quick but careful in his approach here.
Good nade comes in there. The frag downs. Good job, Brian. Quick res comes in. Lunch Lady finds Stony, and you hear there the comms from Prestige that their push-up position here has been given away. And so now Kills is lasered in here to Lunch Lady's angle. Nomad still holding his tucked in. That rotation going unnoticed by the likes of Ninja Monkey, and Lunch Lady may be a target here for Ninja's flank, but he seems to be aware of this potential flank.
You know it's right there. Huh? We're ready. Behind you. Watch out behind.
Ninja Monkey definitely is going to be the wild card here for this round.
Lunch Lady has pushed up here now, and with this tunnel has a lot of different access to different angles. Can peek out, maybe catch Nomad. Can push down, be a threat to Kills. The push seemingly coming in from Good Job Brian. He goes down to Kills, who has a nice long-range angle. Keller's going to continue to push up. Nomad's tucked into the darkness and patiently waiting. Doesn't take the shots onto Keller until he swings out. Finds the kill there, and now it's up to Lunch Lady and Dangle, who have an open objective. Kills has gone down. Nomad confirming Brian a team kill. Leaves it all up to Lunch Lady.
Wow, the advantage quickly taken away. Ninja Monkey a little slow to back up Nomad. And the C4.
A well-placed C4. Really nice spot there. Catches out Nomad. Down goes Prestige. Devil Brigade on the board here again, at least, in this second round. The question is it too little, too late? Because this is a similar situation they found themselves in Bazaar.
Oh, for sure. And Nomad being really disciplined and waiting for more than just Keller to peek out while he waited to take the shot.
Yeah. Yeah, you love to see the patience there. It takes a lot to hold your fire. Ultimately, it could have punished him as he had to push out from his dark position, but still a good spot to be in. And a nice hold there, but where we go from here? Our next objective into the square room. So interested to see how Prestige defend this one. The real, actually, I want to see what Devil's Brigade's approach is going to be. They have an interesting spawn, and I want to know if they're going to still invest in that 2-2 split. Maybe we'll see a 4-man push from the likes of this squad, but if I had to imagine, I think we're going to see another, well, maybe. I don't know what we're going to get here.
I'm good.
Looks like they're going to go for a 4-man push here.
Yeah, it looks like it. And with all the drums that were just passed around, that's a lot of firepower in one spot.
As I say that, they branch out into the 2-2, so. But yeah, you know, you got to get those. One of the nice things about some of these rifles is if you have the appropriate gun, you can share drum mags with your fellow LMG enthusiast, and it gives obviously a significant more, you know, the ability to suppress with a rifle. So you have 3 suppressing rifles instead of just 1 with some reloads. The clips are then picked up by the LMG player, so he has some extra mags in case he runs out, and everyone pushes forward from there. And look at this, Ninja Monkey and Kills already here at the entry to objective.
You know, you got to be worried about possible C4 here, though, being this cluttered.
Brian swings out, gets a double. I think Collateral's the one on the backside. I don't even know if he intended to get that kill. The bullets sail through his initial target and do get 2, though, and Devil's Brigade down to Nomad and Stony.
And that's the bittersweetness of lining up with your buddy. I mean, yes, it's nice, easier refrags, easy to work as a team, but I mean, so much easier to get picked off at the same time if you're not careful.
Prestige just have to hold that square room now. And I love to see the different defensive setups inside of this room, because there's a lot of really great kill box setups, and it does look like they're a little bit more outwardly positioned. They have Lunch Lady and Keller holding these 2 entry points. Sometimes players just just hold the door instead of the hallway, but Keller's here waiting to see if he can scoop up Stony and Nomad, who are eventually going to be pushing down this tunnel.
It's interesting, the vast difference in approach style between Nomad and Stony versus what we saw with Ninja Monkey and Kills. I mean, it's a complete opposite.
Yeah, they're not nearly as tight. A little bit, obviously slower paced, and I mean Stoney being really methodical here. This would be a incredibly forward position for defense. Nomad has in the meanwhile swung out to the north, and maybe getting into some action here shortly as Brian's looking out this doorway. Oh, and there it is. Brian finds the kill.
Unfortunate, Stoney was not in a position to support that.
Yeah, and I think he was just peeking through this sliver here when he found those shots. Nice job there, and yep, we'll see what Stoney can do. He's going to try and challenge a 1v4 with 2 minutes left. It's looking like Prestige are going to be taking this series unless Stoney can pull off a miracle.
Looks like Lunch Lady is just an early warning device with C4 right next to him. Or at least where he was. If he had died, they probably just blow it immediately.
Well, if the smoke comes in here, that may be an indicator. It's actually a flash, not a smoke. He tries to come in. The C4 goes off. Dangle downs Dangle, but it gets him a kill, and Prestige take the series with map number 2 in their pocket 4-1.
What a series this has been so far. Prestige showing that they're not a team to sleep on.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how far they climb or how well they do in, you know, matches to come.
Yeah, and I mean, I obviously want to see them in a 5v5 situation. You know, that's a very different sort of meta, very different defensive and offensive approach style. But either way, a solid bit of back and forth here. Map 3 going to take us to Quarantine to round things off. If I can find the cues. To recap, the band maps Sand and Subway, and so USS Quest not getting picked up here, and I still enjoy a good Quarantine map. I'm curious to see how it will be played effectively in a 4v4, but either way, there's some new objectives that I love to see, and you know, curious to see how these teams are going to defend them.
Yeah, 4v4 a lot harder to cover all the necessary angles of a map like Quarantine.
Yeah. Yeah, there's multiple end points of approach that are pretty easy to take for offense, and so it's going to come down to how well some of these 2-2 splits execute themselves. I'm sure we're going to see some of that. And to your point, I feel like Quarantine really works well with the 2-2-1 split, but there's not going to be that one available. So, yeah, interesting to see what the approaches do end up looking like, and it's curious, you know, as soon as you have 2 down, you're in a huge advantage as a squad. You have all kinds of information. You can kind of rule out certain things and almost assume they're on a split. So, wonder if we're gonna see more group pushes here on Quarantine. We started to see a couple of those from Prestige, but not sure what the approach will be. We'll find out. Don't gotta wait around any longer. Mat 3 of Prestige versus Devil's Brigade underway.
Wait, hey,
Let's just
we're here
You want
fast.
to make
Create
noise
a-
here
listen.
and rotate.
Yeah,
Wait,
create a
why?
quick presence.
I'm gonna-
Push that quick. Create a presence. Rotate the fuck out.
And
Okay,
don't
I'm gonna
die.
We've got a little bit of a pep talk on the side of Devil's Brigade, basically talking about, you know, don't sweat the loss. Keep your heads up high. This is how you learn. This is how you improve. And they are 100% correct.
Someone throw a smoke.
And that's what you love to see, that competition. Ninja Monkey's going to peek out. He's going to get punished. Good job, Brian, with this early west spawn. Finds the kill. And, you know, to counter that, Prestige playing this one tight. They came in here, to really amplify your knowledge, Sky. They said that they're going to distract, shoot, and then relocate. So, you know, the strategy of Prestige very much what you've been identifying it as, and they take those shots over on the west. And look at this. Here's the rotation.
Dangle actually being a little bit of a kind of a linchpin here with the drone ready, holding off, waiting for his team to come back him up, and then he'll probably launch that drone and look for the rest of the defenders. So, and from there they'll decide their final approach because they have a lot of options from that north.
Yeah, especially with this early kill, too. They're in a great spot. They've done exactly what they wanted to at the start when they were planning. They've gotten that early kill, and now they can readjust, regroup as a squad, and go with this push. And to your point, I'm sure the drone's going to get deployed here now from Dangles to try and get a little bit more information on this defensive setup. And this approach coming in just really up through the middle might work out, but I imagine they may end up rotating all the way over to the east and entering in from that side.
Following the drone here a little bit, they've definitely identified
in
Stony.
the corner on the wall right next to OBJ.
One in the corner on the wall next to.
Yeah, and this is just a great demonstration of comms coming in here. Dangle looking at his tablet, calling out this information. Brian relaying it to his team, and they're getting a great picture for this whole squad of how they want to approach. And a great little powwow, a great moment here of Onward. This is what you love to see. This is, of course, incredibly dangerous. If any push were to come in here, or any nade, really, it would be bad news, but they're fortunate that Devil's Brigade is tucked in over OBJ, and as you should be with only 3 left alive.
Yeah, one thing you gotta wonder is, as this team continues to play, to get casted and people play them, I wonder what kind of counter strategies are gonna come out of this
Sure.
to try and, take down that powwow strategy that they have.
Yep, it is a vulnerability, but also obviously an advantage. They've gotten a lot of information. They've split off with good job, Brian and Lunch Lady pushing in over here from the east as expected. The rest of the team, and the rest I mean Dangle and Keller, are going to be pushing in through the center. Keller's going to take control of roof, provide overwatch, and Dangle's going to make his entry in from the courtyard, which may prove to be a successful entry point, because again, they know exactly where this defense is positioned.
Hey, who's up on the fucking roof?
Stony taking some shots at the drone that died from battery.
It came in from the fucking east, though.
A little interesting note that may end up benefiting them as Stony calls out that the drone came in from the east. Not the case, but still could key them into that rotation that is coming in from the east. Oh, almost a kill there on the Dangle as Stony hunts for it through the gap in the wall. Can't quite find those shots, and Dangle drops back.
Nomad trying to support Stony might expose himself to this eastern assault.
Yeah, he's got to be ready for it, and he does briefly check it. He's in a dark corner. He's blending in nicely, so... Oh, wow, just looked over the head there of Lunch Lady. Good thing these two went prone. Quick shots. Lunch Lady finds one. The push comes in. Kills could be a big element here with his position there inside, and the suppressive fire from Brian comes out. Kills, trades. Doctor pushes up onto objective, finds Stony, and Prestige off to the races. Continue to take leads early on in these maps and have a 1-0-1 here.
Man, the methodical approaches is just impressive from Prestige.
Yeah, they got the information that they needed and then acted off of it really nicely. A good rotation there, well timed. They didn't delay too long. Ultimately, yeah, a really nice attack from Prestige, and their coordination is on point, you know, to the point Devil's Brigade, I don't even think they're playing this poorly. They have good defensive spots. They're trying to keep their heads in the game, but Prestige have just been executing really well today and making it difficult.
And even with scores like this, both teams still having a good time, still in high morale spirits. That's what you like to see here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're enjoying some good competitive Onward, and there's nothing much better than that.
Nope.
You know, that's a good chunk of the reason for a lot of these players playing. Obviously, there is the juicy prize pool that comes in at the end of a season for the top 10 teams, and there is certainly something to compete for. All of our sponsors coming together there to offer an exciting tournament that the season culminates to. And so, you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot to be gained if you can hone in the craft of Onward and become a competitive team that can go up against the likes of well, geez, I don't know. Who do you think is going to be the real threat in NA this season?
Oh man, talking like overall, I mean, even with the changes, I think G-Men are still going to remain up there.
Yep.
Mayhem are still going to remain up there. We don't see Globochem seemingly to come back, so they might be out of the picture this season as well as they were last. You might see SMC. We'll see if they return.
Yep.
I noticed Blaze is coming back onto the field, so we'll see with their huge roster change if they come together and get back to their origins. Ember's looking really strong as well. So, I mean, just all these teams, Raptors, you know, they've
Yeah.
hit a wall, but I'm curious to see if they break through that.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to talk about new teams being able to challenge the veterans, Raptors is a great example. They've certainly come up fast in the scene and are a team that can compete at that high end. And so, you know, if you're, you know, you kind of see the starting point here with a great team like Prestige, certainly off to a great start in season 11. They're a team we're going to have to keep an eye on. I want to see how they compete as they get into some more challenging games. Then obviously a squad like Raptors, who are already sort of there making their mark in the top upper echelons of the rankings. We'll see if that's the case this season. And that, you know, geez, this season's so exciting. Tons of stuff to look forward to, and maybe looking forward here to a kill as Ninja Monkey works his way into the basement and could pop right up those stairs to Lunch Lady.
Lunch Lady getting that kill and actually being really quiet about that call out. I wonder if Ninja Monkey heard that or not, especially with the suppressed shots.
It doesn't seem like it. Ninja's still pushed up here to this crater exit point, and I think he got away with that kill. I think Lunch Lady snuck one in there, and you know, at the same time, that defensive position can become a weak point if he doesn't rotate fast enough and drop back to the objective. If they lose the objective hold. And actually, if I'm looking at this, there may be a path for Ninja Monkey to get right up to that objective undetected.
Yeah, but you gotta wonder how long is Ninja gonna sit here with Lunch Lady being able to at any moment peek that window and find him. Ninja's definitely aware that he could get flanked on. He knows his teammate went down, and he heard the shots. There's just no way of knowing where they came from between the suppressor, through the walls, the ground, and how quiet Lunch Lady was about that call out.
Meanwhile, the rest of this offense has positioned themselves into some good spots. Stoney in that middle house can get some good angles. Nomad slowly approaching Keller's defensive position, and I don't know if Nomad can get the pinch, can draw the attention of this defense. Like I said, I think there's an entry point here for Ninja Monkey. As I say that, the flash comes up and over, and Lunch Lady has shifted off his initial position and is now finally covering an angle that he needs to cover to deny Ninja an open lane to the objective.
Ninja Monkey calling out Lunch Lady. Not able to get an accurate read on position, but it did give the general location.
Yeah, and you can see
Stoney's actually looking.
Yep. He is looking for that angle onto Lunch Lady. Another utility nade getting used here. Goes up and over. That one a bit too far. If anything, draws Lunch Lady in. Stoney with a great angle. He's holding, waited for the rotation. Lunch Lady goes down, and a really nice bit of play there from those two for Ninja to draw that out. And now Ninja seemingly not going to go up through that crater.
That was a beautiful bait and wait.
He's confirmed.
Down to just 60 seconds here.
Ooh, Nomad finds Keller. Stoney finds Nomad in the chaos. He swings, and with a great shot, takes down his teammate. Good job, Brian. Savvy and aware to the cross from Courtyards. Finds that kill, and with 50 seconds left, it's going to come down to time, really, for this Devil's Brigade offense. Stoney has to push up.
Another really unfortunate TK because Nomad was in a beautiful position to assault the objective.
To be honest, Stoney can assault the objective too. He can run right at it, which is what he's doing. There may be a cap opportunity. How quickly can he get the code in is the question. He's here on the corner, pad out. He's trying to punch it in. Where's the rotation? It's there as Dangle finds the kill. Prestige continue to pile on and have a 2-0 lead here in map number 3.
Oh man, if Stoney had come in any quieter, Dangle would not have heard and rotated. Wow. I mean, that was close.
It really was a solid attempting near. I think it was just a 1v2, and it was a 2v2 really, but I mean, I'm still thinking about that team kill. That was a really good team kill. I mean, he really snapped to that shot and killed Nomad quickly. It was a great reaction, just not the right one. Either way, you know, an unfortunate team kill, like you said, because Nomad was really good to challenge, draw the attention, open up that entry that Stoney had, and maybe they could have had a 2-1 lead, but you know, it doesn't get you close, doesn't get you the wins, and Prestige now, well, they're close. All they need is a cap to get the W and lock in map number 3. They've got a north spawn on a fresh objective inside the plain courtyard. Plain wing courtyard?
Yeah, there's a few different ways people describe that. I call it wing courtyard, personally.
Yep, you gotta be quick with it, so that makes sense. Cut out plane.
Right.
Watching Ninja Monkey here push out. He could be caught by Dangle if he's not careful, but I think he's gonna get into the crater in time. He does take some shots from the likes of Keller, and good job, Brian, but just tagged in the hip. Able to syringe up and maintain a defensive position here.
Yep, they are north.
Good job, Brian. Definitely waiting for Ninja Monkey to exit out the other side.
Yeah, I saw that push up. You also got Dangle and Lunch Lady. Dangle sending out that drone again. Been a key element for that team. Done great with it, to be honest, and maybe it'll allow them to find an avenue to the objective. And frankly, I'm seeing one myself. If he comes in through the bottom of this broken plane, maybe there'll be some lanes there to get to. And not sure what Stoney's sending shots out at, but
To the drone.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he got the drone. And I was about to say, interesting to note, none of the defenders are on objective, but Stoney just made that rotation, realizing there was a hole in the defense.
Kills finding Dangle. They know they had this north spawn because of that early call out from that pit approach, but does make it a little
Yeah,
harder for
M203.
Prestige, you know.
Yeah, if he had shot that M203 in the top half, Keller would have actually downed kills, but he opted to go for the bottom half. Unfortunately, missing him.
Yeah, and you know, I'm happy to see the use of utility that's been brought back into play. You know, the C4 has been utilized nicely. Smokes are fun to see back into the game, and these teams certainly utilizing the smokes and C4 heavily in this series so far. The M203 has kind of brought that to mind, because I do remember at one point that not being an option either, but teams have certainly gotten skilled with that launcher.
I always like to see the use of non-meta utilities such as the M203 and how teams keep it from being a handicap and use it to their advantage, because, you know, bringing 3 is a lot of points and it denies you a foregrip.
That is true. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Lunch Lady here almost catching Stoney. If Stoney peeks out at all behind this wall, Lunch Lady's here and waiting. The same with Kills. If he peeks up onto that second floor, he's going to go down. But to the point, Devil's Brigade have some good defensive positions right now. If they just stay tucked in, it's going to force Prestige to push up, and curious to see how this works. Honestly, it's kind of a 2v1 for Lunch Lady and Keller against Stoney here.
Ninja Monkey playing that wild card once again. If he had come up in the mall side, he could have caught Brian off in the side by surprise.
He may still
He's
be able to
opting for a
get
long
Brian.
rotation.
Not with this, though. Stoney goes down, Kills looking for the frag, does get it on the Lunch Lady. A great refrag there. But still, as Brian finds Nomad, this defense is getting picked off, and Keller has an entry point to the OBJ, but he's focused on Kills here in that 2-story before he pushes up. Suppresses him out. Brian draws the attention for Keller to find the kill, and now the objective is exposed. This defensive position going to severely hurt Devil's Brigade, as Prestige are going to have all the time in the world to enter in this code, lock in map number 3 with a 4-0W, and take the series in week 2 with a commanding 3 mapped up.
Man, that was a good series to watch. Even with the score looking how it is, I mean, many of those rounds could have come down to either team.
And gosh, it gets me excited for all tiers of gameplay here. You know, Prestige being a new team, sure. But I mean, imagine Prestige versus Hell from Above, the former, the last season, the Orb Rookie Tournament champions. You know, that matchup's going to be great. There's going to be tons of great bronze matchups here. Devil's Brigade, I mean, you know, maybe if they had 5, it would have been a bit of a different story for them. They played well in the first 2 maps, but ultimately Prestige just came in here today and played really well. They had great communication and ultimately got a cap there in that final map. You know, we saw them go for get close to those caps, but ultimately finally able to lock one in.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of capture attempts here. I think that was the only actual one that we
Yeah.
saw this match. But I mean, that great rounds, all in all.
Yeah, great utility usage from Prestige. The drone certainly coming into play there as well, and going to be a team that we're going to have to follow through the course of Season 11, but that will be it for us here on the desk. We appreciate everyone that has been tuning in. Thank you so much for dropping by. If you are new here, hit that follow button. There's going to be a lot more Onward matches brought by yours truly and the casting team. I think tomorrow, matter of fact, we have a high tier matchup, so we go from bronze to diamond, and we'll see Mayhem versus Peacekeepers, and that one's going to be exciting. That's, you know, you want to talk about a high tier matchup to look forward to. Peacekeepers are looking really good, at least in week 1, and I'm very curious to see how they take on Mayhem.
Oh yeah, Peacekeepers, another one I forgot to mention earlier, really flying up the ranks last season. I can't wait to see this one.
Yeah, going to be a good matchup to tune into tomorrow. Do not miss it. But like I said, that'll be it from us here. Shout out before we go to all of our sponsors. You've seen them advertised here. ProTube VR, VR Cover, Asterion, HyperX, Rebuff Reality, VRware. We all appreciate the support from our sponsors that ultimately allow us to provide a pretty great prize pool for season champions. So shout out to all of those sponsors that do come together and provide us with some great resources to the league. But that'll be it for us here. My name's been NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster, TheSkyJoker. We will see you all tomorrow with more action, so be sure to tune in.